Are crypto prices about to soar, or are they going to stay where they are for months to come? I'm Joel Flynn. Welcome to the Daily Forkast, July the 25th, 2022. Opinion is split then on whether we're at the bottom of the crypto market, and this week could be one of the most important in figuring that out. Also coming up today is Zipmex about to get bought, and FTX is trying to help Voyager customers if they open an FTX account. This is what's happening from Asia to the world.
Join thousands of NFT traders who already start their day on CryptoSlam.
Well, it's another big week for crypto markets as everyone continues to ask if we've hit the bottom yet. As of 12 p.m. Hong Kong time, Bitcoin was trading below $22,000 for the first time in a week. Ethereum is also off highs seen over the weekend, trading hands at around $1,500. The bad news? Well, one big name reckons things are about to get worse. Silvergate's Alan Lane is warning the fallout from lending contagion isn't over yet. His comments come as fresh data shows the scale of crypto's crash. With big risks also coming from the Fed this week and from US GDP numbers, what exactly is going to happen next? Forecast Timmy Shen has more.
Are we nearing the end of the bear market? In an interview with CoinDesk, Silvergate CEO Alan Lane said exchanges and crypto funds are likely to suffer for the next few quarters. He also said that investors shouldn't compare the current crypto price decline to previous slumps, given that digital assets are under macroeconomic pressures such as rising interest rates. Despite this, Lane said the bank will keep increasing its Bitcoin lending, adding it is some of the best lending they have ever done. According to its recent earnings report, Silvergate's second quarter net income rose 85% in the year-ago quarter. Over in the DeFi space, data from DeFi Llama shows that total value locked slumped from $220 billion at the beginning of the second quarter to just over $72 billion by the end of June. And according to a CoinGecko report, DeFi market cap also suffered a hefty drop in the second quarter, decreasing from $142 million to $36 million. But was that fall really as bad as it looks at first glance? Igneous Terranus of Bybit told Forecast the contraction can be largely attributed to the fall in ETH's price, explaining that the downturn looks much less precipitous when denominated in ETH. Justin Danathan of Amber Group said the second quarter of the year definitely was full of drama, adding that investors were fearful about token prices, needing to cover margin calls, or just wanting to free up cash, and that meant a dramatically lower crypto market cap, lower prices, and lower TVLs. It seems hope is not lost, however. DeFi TVL has since bounced back up, sitting close to $85 billion Monday morning in Asia. As for the crypto market, Toya Zhang of Bit.com told Forecast the bottom has been tested for over 2 months and that it now feels a bit more confident. So can that be sustained? Zhang says the possible upside is not high yet. Terranus says that while he thinks a bottom has been formed, it's possible markets could slouch around current levels for a prolonged period. Jonathan is less optimistic, saying markets feel uncertain and that it's too early to tell whether we've really hit the bottom as yet. However, he also points out that last month's chaos highlighted the validity of the DeFi space instead of undermining it. He explains that while centralized entities suffered, pretty much all the dApps and protocols worked as intended and didn't need bailouts. He believes that proves the space and the solution work. I'm Timmy Shan, Forecast.
It is vital you stay up to date with what's happening in markets this week. The best place to do that is here with Forecast. Like and subscribe to this video to get updates from us at the Daily Forkast, and head to our website for more analysis as well. There is a link to that in the description below. Liquidity in crypto markets might be getting better. Struggling Singapore exchange Zipmex could soon be bought out. Early stage due diligence is being done on at least one deal for the firm. That is according to a tweet from Zipmex's official account. Last week, Zipmex froze customer withdrawals. That came after it admitted to owing more than $50 million to other troubled firms, Babel Finance and Celsius. On Friday, Zipmex users could get some of their money out, but still not all of it. Investor hopes, though, seem to be growing over this potential buyout, though. Zipmex's native ZMT token recovered slightly overnight, trading at 31 cents as of 10 a.m. Hong Kong time Monday. Voyager Digital users could get some of their money back sooner, meanwhile, only though if they open an account with Sam Bankman-Fried. His firms are proposing a deal to help Voyager's customers while it deals with its bankruptcy proceedings. That deal would see FTX and Alameda Research offer advances on customer funds, which can then be traded or simply withdrawn. SBF is of course the founder of both FTX and Alameda. He has said he wants to get liquidity to those hit by the Voyager bankruptcy. FTX though says it won't be acquiring Voyager's loans to Three Arrows Capital. However, if Voyager can get any of that money back, though, users probably will get some regardless of any FTX account, according to SBF. FTX said that it wants to get the deal done next month, but it's also making a big move in South Korea. FTX reportedly trying to buy one of the country's big 5 crypto exchanges, Bithumb. Bloomberg says talks between the two are advanced. Bithumb, of course, the second largest crypto trader in South Korea last year, with 17% of total volume. The company is also one of just 5 cash-to-crypto exchanges that are licensed in the country. Authorities in South Korea have, of course, been making rules more strict over the last 12 months, but the country is still dealing with the fallout from the Terra Luna collapse that we saw earlier this year, and it's still unclear whether FTX will be allowed to buy Bithumb. Neither Bithumb nor FTX have responded so far to Forecast's requests for comment. Now, with a focus on risk to prices and liquidity, let's get some more analysis from Annabelle Huang, who's managing partner of Amber Group. Annabelle, thanks for joining us again. I want to ask you about how crypto is performing, in particular for developed market investors, compared to, say, other ones elsewhere in the world, and how what's happening in these markets is really impacting how crypto is being used.
I do think investors in different regions' approach is slightly different. I think in the US, just because they already have access to very quick and easy dollar funding, dollar banking, that they think of Bitcoin or Ethereum or crypto more as investment vehicle. Some of them use Bitcoin as sort of a gold equivalent, and I think that narrative continues to play out, even though it's more recently traded more as a risk asset. But I think in other parts of the world, so Southeast Asia, Latin America, even some parts of Eastern Europe, especially I think with dollar being very strong, and a lot of the emerging market currencies, even the G10s like yen, devaluing a lot against dollar. So I think they're also looking for another way of holding other than just fiat.
Yeah, Annabelle, in your opinion, is Bitcoin behaving as a hedge against inflation right now for investors in different parts of the world? Does the fact that it's seemingly mirroring risk assets mean that it can't still be an inflation hedge?
I don't think so. I don't think it's mutually exclusive, but if we look at different time horizons, it'll look slightly different. I think over the long run, Bitcoin still behaves more as a deflationary asset. But in times of volatility, especially in times of liquidity crisis, and right now we're in interesting cycle where the macro cycle coincides with the crypto cycle. So I think right now you're seeing a bit more correlation between crypto and risk assets. But even over the last week, we saw a sort of a mini rally in Ethereum, and that's driven not by any macro events, but more sort of on-chain dynamics where people are seeing a clear timeline towards merge. So I think that also speaks to a more isolated economics at some point. So
how then are investors, Annabelle, in Asian and emerging markets in particular, playing this bear market?
I think for a lot of investors, it's their first time seeing a cycle like this. I'm sure it's a bit scary and overwhelming, especially when they got in the height of it, right? Being involved in the play to earn games and all that, we've seen the momentum die down there. But I think it's important to have a longer term view. A year or 2 years when we come out of this, what is actually the use case or the mass adoption coming from, And I think for average investors, I think they tend to get hurt because they always sort of FOMO chase on the high and then sell early on the way down. So if you do believe in crypto as an asset class or as real use cases down the line, then you can just put it away for a year or two if you can afford to do it, and never take on positions more than you can stomach.
All right, Annabelle, thanks for that. As always, that was Annabelle Huang from Amber Group. All right, do follow us on Twitter for the latest updates at @forecast_news. Let me know your thoughts about the bear market, about regulation, about everything that is going on right now at Joel Flynn. That is it, though, for today's Daily Forecast. I'll see you next time.